Hello my dear friends, this is PaintyKat, my name is Catherine. On my channel you can find this tutorial about landscape with the birch trees, and today we're gonna have it as a base for new landscape. Most of the time, I'd say all of us have some favorite subject to paint, some favorite flowers, for example, maybe fruits, maybe trees, landscapes. And time by time, I recommend to get back to these favorite subjects, but bring new techniques we learn with a time. So today I'm gonna create basically the same landscape. It's still gonna be birch trees. Composition gonna stay similar, so it's sky, it's smaller tree on the left side, and it's 3 birch trees. But for the front area I'm gonna change type of flowers a little bit. Today it's gonna be blooming Sally, and we painting in a bigger size, another rules. Here we're gonna have a better detailing. This tutorial, demonstration one, here we will catch just main ideas, main techniques and moments. You can follow link down below in the description, join my Patreon, and there we will have a real-time tutorial that going for 1 hour and 23 minutes, and there step by step without any cuts we will talk about all details, color mixing and moments we have to remember while we painting this landscape. I kind of like a technique I'm gonna bring here for this landscape today. This is painting with the flat brushes. You already saw it on my channel. We created a spring landscape with a really small palette. There we used basically paint colors. Here mainly we're gonna use greens, because this landscape it's early summer, and also previous tutorial on the channel, there we have a multicolor. I recommend to you to check Google Afremov. It's a famous artist, and he creating his painting landscapes with oil on a really big sized canvases. And he famous about multicoloring and about this unique style when strokes have it's looking like a square strokes. He painting with palette knives, yeah, but palette knives usually requiring bigger size. We painting on this tiny one. It's an A4, not that small, so trust me, we're gonna create all details we're looking for here also. But instead of palette knives that way too big here for this size, we're gonna use just the brushes, and flat brushes giving us singular look of brush strokes. What we have to remember about, first of all, not to over mix your acrylic on a palette. If you will mix really well, you will get just a very nice mixed light blue without any accents there. We don't need that. We're looking for multicolors in each brush stroke. Right now it's just a 2. Okay, now I added a third one, it's a green, but imagine in each brush stroke you have to be able to notice different colors, not just a single shade. It's gonna be a tiny stripes of white, green, blue all together. Also important, we going very smooth, we transition color to color. This way we don't need to clean brushes all the time, because brush inside, even if you do a brush stroke, it's still containing some extra paint, so you can just attach extra white from your palette. Going new brush stroke, you will see colors from a previous brush strokes. Yes, it also fits well for this technique. For the normal brush work, for the normal very smooth gradients, we cleaning brushes color to color. Here we don't need it if we working, for example, for just a sky area. If you jumping to another color that really have a big difference between the previous one, this way, yes, you have to clear your color, your brush from the previous color and mix a new one. About water here. As a medium, I'm using water, that's true, but I'm using water only as a cleaning here. So I'm removing previous color, drying my brush with a napkin, but look, I'm not bringing water on a palette. This is important, and this is the second important moment here. We need a very nice consistency as it is from the tube. Don't bring water on your palette. This way your acrylic will be much more watery, and instead of layering, instead of really a well-structured brush stroke, you will have just a spots, mostly watercolor looking, because acrylic, it's a water-based type of paint. So if you will bring too much water, your acrylic will become a watercolor. So you don't do that. Use acrylic as it is from the tube. Yes, we will need lots of acrylic this way, but well, why else we need a paint, right? We need it because we paint with it. So don't be greedy. Use a nice amount of paint. If you're painting light, go with extra tiny touch of warm color. For me today it's ochre. As you're going to the deeper shadow area of tree or a background, doesn't matter, add there a tiny touch of blue. This way objects, areas on a light will have warm tone, and shadows we will keep as a cold tone ones. Let me complete this tree, and I want to demonstrate you really cold looking ground under it. About paper, interesting moment. Again, as I told you, I recommend to check a frame if you will see it painting on a canvas. We painting on a paper, and for learning process, I believe it's really better because you're not scared to ruin your canvas, spend it for nothing, for example, if you don't know technique well enough yet. So for learning process, paper going cheaper and better. We're not greedy about it, we're not scared to do something wrong, so we opened for experiments. But to get your working surface closer to original one, I recommend to get a texture, paper textured as a canvas. This way, on some moments, you will have a really close look to canvas. I really like it. So in this way, we creating all trees on the left side, on the right side. Guys, it's really taking time. It's not that tricky as it's looking. It's just going one by one. Imagine you trying to create a really huge sculpture with the tiny pieces of clay. This way you will create it very slow, right? So that's why actually tutorial, real-time one, kinda long, because there I'm not cutting any moments at all. We're talking more about mixes and everything. But here I wanna give you just a main advices about this tutorial, and let's jump on a foreground. This is a grass. I wanna give this landscape vibe of summer, and it's like an early summer. And you can ask me why I'm painting so yellow grass. It's more common, more natural for later spring or maybe early autumn, early fall. It is. But for better contrast, if we want to create really beautiful green grass without deep shadows on a foreground, we have to create kind of light underpainting level. No, we can't leave here just an empty paper, you know. We have to create interesting looking underpainting, not boring, still detailing a little bit. So that's why I recommend for the whole foreground, choose very light colors. You can see right now, for the road, I also picked up light shade. Yes, it's not that yellow as a grass. It's also have a tiny bit of red, as you can see from my palette. Road not important here, so don't spend much time for this shape. And also, right now you can see I'm painting with no sketch, with no traceables, but if you need to, sometimes it's really helping. If you need to, join my Patreon. There we have all traceable sketches and also extra tutorials about how to plan sketches for some of tutorials, not for every compositions on a channel. So look, as soon as we already created light yellow grass, all green grass on top of it, looking very contrasted and catchy, even without deep shadows, isn't it? So right now, when I already added green grass on top, it's not looking as an autumn grass anymore. Also, it's not looking as a really deep green grass as we know from the middle of the summer. Now it's looking as a young grass because it's light, it's have no deep shadows in it, and it's still green, right? Because I put it on top. For this grass, I used a slanted flat brush with a sharp edge. I really like it. And I'd say if you will try to create very detailed, natural looking, photo looking grass, it will not fit well to this kind of technique, to this kind of landscapes. Instead of it, try to create a bunch of grass in one go. It depends from type of your brushes, and again, types we discussing better in a real-time tutorial. Here, look, we already painting tiny leaves, and again, it's not really exactly photo looking leaf, it's just a print of my brush one by one. Yes, I'm turning brush a little bit. Yes, I'm changing shade, brushstroke to brushstroke, you know, for better variations, to give more interesting colors. Sometimes it's like a very fast brushstrokes. About speed of painting, this is a very important moment as well. Try to mix fast painting and slow painting. If on some area you not feeling confident with the technique, yes, you can go kind of slow, you know, try to control your brush strokes better. But in a moment you already know well, for example, like for us, for example, right, let's say you already painted many times, so here you're more confident, try to go faster. It's not painting, not just a question of mixes of colors, no, it's also mixes of techniques, mixes of different brush strokes, and mixes of different speed of paintings. It's visible, it's reading very well from a paintings, and when you combinating different ways all together with the different colors, your painting will look so interesting and beautiful. Even if some details and areas will be not important, it will be still not boring, because you combinating a different, for example, brush strokes, speed of paint, doesn't matter what. Important to keep a difference here and there. You can see right now I already painting flowers, and right now these colors looking kind of lonely in this landscape, isn't it? Look, we didn't use pink before. It's a combination of two reds here. First, it's a warm red, vermilion. Another one, it's a pink. Basically, them both red. And again, I'm creating a big brush strokes, not just a petal by petal, as we, you know, trying to create natural looking bouquet, for example. No, here we're not repeating natural shapes. We're taking a shape of blooming Sally in general. We're trying to express it with color mostly. As soon as we put it flowers here, we have this pink accent. Stop here on the foreground and go for trunks, because the final view we can detail only when all ingredients put it together on a paper. Here we're still lacking some details. It's trunks, it's twigs and branches. Type of trees here really beautiful. Birch trees known about beautiful crisp, and it's a combination of two colors, black and white. Here actually we're risking a lot, because the best contrast ever we have between white and a black. So if you will put extra contrast here for the crust, you can take way too much attention from the foreground, so be gentle. If crust black and white doesn't mean we have to paint exactly the same. We have air perspective. Remember, white color reflecting everything around, so it can contain blue, green, ochre, pink, all colors you used before and placed on your palette. It can be on a white color on a crust. I'm not trying to create very tiny details. Instead of it, I'm trying to paint more common details, like trying to express shape in general, and when I like how it's looking, I can give like a tiny touch with a smaller brush here and there for detailing, final detailing. Also here in this tutorial we will talk about shape of trees. I had some questions from my previous tutorial in same technique from the spring landscape, how to bring back shape for the trees. So here we will talk more about it. And also here we will add one more extra color. For pink spring landscape, we was painting with a small amount of colors, here the same, and we risking here with the yellow and red. If we will put too much of it, plus green, we can give our landscape autumn look, fall look. But still, you know, a tiny bit of cadmium lemon can give a very beautiful touch to the landscape. Just be gentle, give a little bit of lemon to the crowns, and also give it as a tiny flowers to the grass. So all together it will look really well balanced and beautiful. Also I will add white tiny flowers to the foreground, and because of a contrast and very tiny round shaped brush strokes, this area will be catchy because it's a different, right? The whole landscape we painted with a square shaped brush strokes, and if we changing the way, we changing square looking brush strokes to the round one, like a dots for foreground, this detail gonna be more catchy, like this. My painting is done. I'm gonna set my sign here. Also, my dear friends, you have to sign your paintings. Even if you're following tutorials, it doesn't matter, it's still your own painting. If you still have any questions, don't be shy to ask me here on the comments. Subscribe my channel for more interesting tutorials. And of course, welcome on a Patreon for real-time ones. Share to me your paintings through Facebook, Patreon and Instagram. Don't forget, #PaintyKat. I'll see you later, my friends, on the next tutorials. It was a PaintyKat, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye.